Well, it's too late now. Hi, hold. Let me
You
turn
can
this
hear
off real
me?
quick. Yeah, hold on a second. Oh, just
Yeah,
kidding.
I didn't hear the
All
Bluetooth
right.
disconnected. I literally heard it from like ambiance outside. It was that loud.
I'm so sorry.
I heard it from Washington. It caused 4 earthquakes around the
Yeah,
world.
it really did. Okay. Hi, friend. How are you?
Tired, man. So
Yeah.
tired. I'm actually need advice.
Oh, okay. I'll see what
I
I can do.
okay. I don't know what to do about my children. So my two youngest constantly bickering, constantly annoying each other. It's getting old, you know. I tried ignoring it. Oh, you know what? Solve your own problems. You know, I don't want to start jumping in all the time fixing them. Okay. I don't know whose side, and I shouldn't be choosing sides, but here's what happened tonight. So Simon has like this little plushy cat and he always cuddles it. He likes to, so it's time for bed. He grabs his little plushie and he lays down, you know, and we talk about our days and do star chart. Silas, however, I don't know what it is when it's like, it's nighttime, let's settle down. Something switches inside him and he's like, rave party! Ah! So he keeps stealing his cat and like throwing it in the other room, you know, and then Silas, so he just wants to play. So I understand like he's doing it to be a jerk, but he's doing it to play. So, oh my gosh. Simon is, this is what gets me. He's taking my kitty. And I'm just like, I don't say it, but I'm just like, shut the fuck up. In my head, I'm like, just stop. Find a different way. It's not working the way you're doing what you're doing. You've been doing it for a very long time. And I always remind him, hey, what you're saying and what you're doing, the complaining, it's not working. Find another way to solve your problem. It just doesn't register in his head. So we sat down and I was like, you know what? Silas. And Pete's not here. So I have Pete on speaker trying to talk to me about something. And I'm like, Pete, I can't, I'm dealing with the kids right now. He's like, but Wheel of Fortune. I was like, I don't hear about Wheel of Fortune. I'm trying to deal with what's going on right now. And he was like, oh, okay, well, you know, what's going on? How did you not hear? Okay, but you know, catch him up. And I was like, Simon, you have to find a different way to communicate what you want because he's not hearing what you have to say. Silas, you need to listen. You need to figure out, you need to hear what he's saying and say, I respect what you're saying. I think you want me to stop. Like, you read what he wants. He wants to lay down. He wants to go to sleep and get ready for sleep. He wants to snuggle. And now his cat's being stolen. But at the same time, I reminded him, Simon, I was like, hey, Simon, he keeps grabbing your cat, throwing it down, throwing it out there down the hall and down the stairs. And you keep fetching it like a little dog and bringing it back to him. He's going to keep doing it. So you have to find other ways. And I was like, but it's time for bed. I'm tired. My neck hurts. I don't know what I woke up with neck pain. And I'm just like, it's time for bed right now. We're going to get some good sleep and we're going to figure this out in the morning. I wish it ended there. No. They go, I can't hear you. Did you?
I muted it.
Oh, okay. I
I
just
was
see you go,
chewing. I was
oh,
like, blah, blah. No, I wanted to get his food. I'm multitasking.
okay, there you go. What time is it actually there?
Noon, 9 afternoon, 9 a.m.
I totally
Or
butchered the
sorry,
time
9 minutes.
difference on
That's
your.
okay. I'm 8 hours behind you.
Okay. Yeah. I physically cannot do math in my head.
That's okay.
I cannot
I
do.
use my
I'm
fingers.
I was really good at math, but I need to show every single step out on a piece of paper. I just can't do it in my head. I'm just challenged.
Funny. That's funny.
But I'm really good at math if it's on paper and I'm showing all my steps. Really good at it.
Nice.
But it's like, what is 25% off of this? When it was this already 25% off, that's 75%. I was like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know even if I have paper because what happens even when I do math on paper is I'm doing the wrong math.
Yeah. I have a hard time with, I think that's the worst one is percentages. That was really hard for me.
That's like the only one that makes sense in my head ish. I mean, like as long as I
Yeah.
can get to 10, if I can do 10%, then I can like get a rough ball, and then I'm like, okay, close enough.
I mean, I can do 10%, 25%, 50%,
Right.
75%. I get like those because it's a
Yeah.
quarter or half. Like I
Right.
get those ones, but if it's like
13%
42%, I
of
was like, I'm done. Unless
nah.
it's out of 100, I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm just,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got me. I can't do it.
For real. For real. I have to
But
shut this. I just realized that my commode is in the background. One moment, please.
okay.
Usually I have everything closed because my voice carries and I don't want to wake people up. But during the day, we do not practice quiet hours so much. We do a quiet time while Andrew is sleeping. We try to keep our activities like that aren't like jumping and thumping around. But aside from that,
Mm.
we
Does Andrew wake up easily?
I don't think so.
Mm.
He wakes up like when he's ready. But I will say, like last night, no, I don't think he wakes up early. I won't go into that. I want to keep listening to you. What? So, okay, so you got all the boys to bed, and then what?
Oh, yeah. Go to bed. Okay. Give him hugs, give him kisses. They go into bed. No, stop! Stop, 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 stop! I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And I'm like, where did this start, first of all? Simon has been saying for about 3 days now, I hate you. We don't say that in my house, ever. We just don't. I don't say that. Nobody else says that. So I'm like, I don't know where he got it from, and it's driving me crazy. So I go in there, and I'm like, what? What is wrong? Why aren't you guys sleeping? He stole my kitty. I'm like, I can't believe he did it again. First of all, I'm about to just explode. And I'm trying to listen to them, and I'm like, calm down, calm down. Like, I'm actively telling myself to calm down because I just want to be like, are you guys stupid? What the fuck? Are you stupid? I didn't say it.
You fucking retard, shut
Yes.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Are you fucking retarded? What the fuck? We just had a fucking conversation about this. Yeah, those thoughts are there. Mull has to be quiet because I can't say that stuff. But I wanted to, the control I have. So he's like, he stole my kitty, so I went and got it back. And then he threw me out over the side of the bed. And I fell off the bed and I hit the metal part of the chair on my head. So he's got a mark on his head. Okay. Why are you stealing his cat? Why? Why? There's no answer. I know why. I just want to play. I just want to, he's trying to be playful. I understand he's not doing it to be, well, I guess it is me. He's teasing him. He's teasing his brother. So, and now I have a kid crying his eyes out because he's hurt. He's already sensitive. If I had to like place him somewhere, he's a little bit on the girlier side. He's
That's
not
Simon or Silas?
Simon. Yeah.
Okay.
He's very sensitive and, I shouldn't say on the girlier side. He knows he's a boy,
Right, right. Just more sensitive.
he's sensitive and he's an artist, that type of kid. He loves arts and crafts, and that's what he spends most of his day. He made his school a card today that says, like, he made one sheet of paper, and he cut out little pink hearts and put it all over there, and then he put a bigger heart. He's like, this is the mommy heart, these are the, and then he cut out little shapes and then made like little bees and stuff, and then flowers. And he's
Cute.
like, I'm gonna give this to them so they'll remember me. It was
Aw.
very beautiful. It was very cute. And then he made a card that says, I hope you guys have a good life after I'm gone. And I was like, that might be a little bit too much. And then he got mad at me and tore it up.
Oh
I was like, you don't have to tear it up. I'm just shut up. Ugh. No, he didn't tell me to shut up, but
right.
you just don't like anything. And I'm like, that's not what I said. But if you want to take it that way,
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. And so here was the whole thing explained. I tell one kid, be quiet, so I can listen to one at a time because they're just too much. Simon says, they both said the same story. Silas took his cat. Simon went on his bed to go get it, but I guess Simon was standing on his legs or something. And Silas was saying, stop it, stop it, stop it, and threw him off. And then he hit his head. And so, but Simon is a better communicator than Silas, mostly, besides the
Okay.
whining. He doesn't know how to solve problems as well, I
Wow.
guess. Silas is a good problem solver, but for some reason he creates problems too. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm tired too,
No,
but
no, you're
he's,
okay.
I'm trying to explain, hey, because Simon says, I didn't know you were saying stop because you're being hurt. I thought you were telling me to stop getting my plushie, and that's what, and he was like, it doesn't matter. I was like, it does matter. It does matter
So
because
funny.
and I was like, and when somebody says stop, no,
Freeze.
no means no and stop means stop.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm having an issue. How do I really cement that into my children's mind that no
Yeah.
means no and stop means stop? That's my problem. What do I do?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you the things that come to my brain, and then I'm gonna have to go to some of my friends also for advice because I have similar issues.
Mm,
I mean, mine are 1 and 3, so that's like likely, but I also want to make sure I nip it in the bud. So I'm gonna start. I've got a couple little notes here. So
nip it in the bud.
nip it in the bud, not in
I
the
thought you
butt.
said butt. I was like,
No.
no, 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 no.
Nip it in the bud, as
Yeah.
in that bud is not going to be good and become a good flower or fruit. So the first thing is have you ever heard of peer mediation?
I feel like I have,
It's
but
probably
please.
something you did in grade
Oh, in
school.
school. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
or in high school or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember
in
going through a
school.
peer
Yeah, peer
mediation thing
mediation. Yeah.
in like super, super young.
Hmm.
I just did a quick Google to see what I could find, and it's pretty like annoying because it's not like helpful right away. Like you have to this is what peer mediation is. If you want somebody to come to your school, blah, blah, blah. So, F that. I'll have to do some more. Go ask Chad maybe the steps of peer mediation for young
Okay.
toddlers. However, and it's so funny that you're having this issue with your 2 young boys because my sister and I are having a very similar issue of communication. I mean, she's not stealing my stuff and then like throwing it, but it does seem
But
to
it
be
is.
kind of a
You're
communication.
right. It's a
Yeah,
communication issue, and
yeah,
that's what I keep
yeah.
saying.
It's communication
It's
and
communication.
understanding. Like there's like you can communicate effectively, but if there's not understanding there to like bridge, it doesn't matter. And
I
I
think
mean,
that's what
that's her.
communication is this is both people relaying information that they both understand.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the whole gist of
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would maybe, I mean, like all the parenting books say, Obviously, not when it's like nighttime and everybody's tired, but like maybe tomorrow morning, once everybody wakes up, you could, if you have a few minutes to sit down with Silas and Simon, you could be like, hey, like, let's talk about what happened last night. And, how does it make you feel when he does this? How does it make you feel when you do this to your brother? And see if you can just get both of them talking so that they can hear it. And if it gets too like escalated, be like, okay, like we either need to calm our bodies down so we can keep talking, or we're going to have to table this for all of us to be calm later. So I would start with that. And then the other thing is, especially since it's Silas, who is your more special one. I don't know how to say that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Andrew's awake, maybe. Hold on a second. Do you guys do any physical, what is it, like any like physical feedback with him before bed? Like Andrew, I have to squeeze him, I have to
Yeah.
roll him, and I have to do all of those things with him.
So weird because I was just talking to him about that because it's so weird that you say that. And I haven't, we used to do it when he was younger, like squeeze his legs or, we used to do that when he was younger.
Yeah.
But we kind of just stopped doing it. And then I seen this when I was looking up, you know, I always try to be a better parent. That's always on my radar. Like,
Constantly.
what do
Yeah.
you do? What are you doing that helps you with these problems? So I always try to. And I seen something where somebody said the best thing that they do, even as their kids get older, is push them into the bed.
Yeah.
Not to hurt them, but just
Right. I
just
love
to ground
Ben.
them is really it.
Yeah, Benji loves when we call it steamrolling, and so I just start on one side and I literally
I
like my
think
whole
that is
body, I
a
just roll
weird sex
over.
thing, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Steamrolling.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think
I hope
so.
not.
I think you
I
should
hope
not
not.
call
That's
it.
not what I'm doing with my child. I pretend like I'm a piece of construction equipment and I'm smushing him with my body by rolling over him. Hold on. Yeah, he's awake. You want to pause it real quick?
Sure.
Okay, give me 10 minutes max. I'm gonna try to nurse him back to sleep because he hasn't been asleep for very long, but there's a good chance I'll be right back. Hold on a second.
Okay. Zoom.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. How long did he nap for?
Maybe just an hour. Hold on a second. Let me see what time we were texting.
That's a good nap.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish it was longer. I think
At
I
that
might have.
age, my kids only nap for about an hour.
Well, like
Yeah.
I feel like yeah,
Maybe
I
an
guess
hour and a
yeah,
half. Yeah.
right out an hour.
Yeah.
I feel like he used to nap for several hours. I don't know if he's getting his eye teeth on the bottom right now. And we have sniffles. They're not like terrible or anything like that, but hold on a second. I do have an invite by my church group. Hold on a second. I don't know what we're doing. I don't, never mind. I'm misunderstanding that. Sorry.
He's not listening, right? He
No.
took that idea about it.
Yeah.
By the way, steamroller. No, I looked it up. It's called a Cleveland steamer.
Oh,
Pretty gross. I was like,
I don't
what's
want to
that
know
gross
anymore.
thing where they like poop on your chest?
Ew,
I did it.
gross.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me
I
fix
draw the
this.
line. I'm
Being
like, poop
blinded.
stuff? No.
No,
Oh,
absolutely not. Hold on a second, Andrew. Can I let you down? I gotta close these blinds because I'm being blinded. For once, I have nice natural light to shine down on me. Up. And now I don't want it because it's blinding me.
did he say up?
He did.
He just commands it. Up,
Up.
bitch. My kids would just go, because they didn't know how to speak.
There you go. We've
And you know
been
why they didn't know how to speak? Because I did everything for them.
Oh,
Then no.
I'm really working on not doing that with Andrew,
Yeah,
but it's
it's
so
hard.
hard because I mean like with Ben, I was like, here you go, here you go, you want this one back in so you can listen. With Ben, it's like really easy. It's like if you want to keep up, you got to figure it out. Whereas with Andrew, it's like if you want to keep up, I'm gonna do it for you.
Because
And
it's easier
yeah,
because
yeah,
and it really delays them. So
Yeah, I'm trying. I
take a
am
few names,
trying.
stop doing it. But I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to judge you because I did it for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
And all my kids had speech issues. Every single one of them.
Oh, interesting. There you
They
go.
were
Here,
all
leave it.
delayed. They were all like, ugh.
Okay.
And I remember I posted this cute little video. Simon, when he was right in reception. I don't know. He was like 5 years old, and he was like, "Hickory dickory dock, the mouse went up the cock." I was like, "It's so
No.
And people were like, I love his British accent. I was like, bitch, that's a speech impediment. That ain't
You
no
know, it's
British accent.
what's really kind of funny is we've been saying that some of Andrew's sounds like a little bit like a British accent. So I'll make sure that we start working on our R sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one for my kids. Full like the way they say first is so weird. It's not weird. It's different to me. I shouldn't say it's weird. It's weird to me because it's different. But
Right.
it like I can't even first. I can't even
First.
move my first. Like it sounds like I'm just lazy mouthed, I think.
Yeah, right. Hey,
Like when I go
one
like
moment.
reverting sometimes back to
There
my
you go.
like Boston accent.
Yeah.
Every now and then it will come out, but it's so weird. I'm like, why would my mouth just decide
Just stop.
it's just gonna like be lazy? Because really, it's lazy. It's easy to just say "pak the khan," just
Go pack the
whatever,
cat and have it
whatever,
yad.
whatever. That
Whatever.
that that literally comes easy to me. Like
Right,
to
right,
speak like this. This is easy. I have to actively. Well, at first it was actively, but I mean,
right.
I try to dictate.
Oh, good
I'm
one.
not always perfect,
No, no.
but I do have issues. Like I go back to Tennessee and I see my
When
friends.
you
I was
getting
like,
the work
"Hey, y'all,
done?
how you
Oh
doing?"
my
Oh
gosh.
yeah, it's so bad. We're moving back to Tennessee. I was like, I'm gonna sound like this all day. Baby, come here.
I
I
fought
just love it.
tooth, I fought tooth and nail not to let that twang come into my voice.
It's
Um,
glorious,
I
baby. Just
can't
let it
stand it.
happen.
No, I can't stand it.
Oh, I love it.
I can't. I think for like a little while, I was like, like if I was like super inebriated, because that's what I did with the majority of my early 20s and my Navy days was just like drink. So when I was like heavily intoxicated, then I'd get a little twangy. And so now I've worked to the point where instead of getting twangy, I get super Canadian. I'm not even joking. It's like, I was like, what's the furthest thing from a hick accent? I know. Canadian. And that's what I started working on. And so now you can tell, I'm not even joking. Now you can tell if I have like an altered mind state, usually from drinking. I think I've only been that that high once smoking weed that I got a little Canadian, and it was like a little bit.
Let me hear the little bit of Canadian. Let's
Give me a second. Let me think of something. So usually, how it starts is I'll be drinking, and then I do because I'm a klutz and I'm drunk. I'm like, oh, sorry, sorry, oh, oop, 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 and then all the oops. It's like a little bit Midwest, a little bit Canadian, and then it slowly comes out, and then I get a little bit of don't you knows, and then next thing I know, I was snowshoeing in Alberta, and I just don't even know. Hi. Oh, you wanted to listen. I'm sorry. One moment. Yeah,
Do
one
you
moment.
have both of them in one ear?
No, it's a magnet, so I can
Got it.
magnetize.
I didn't really see it. I was like, do you
That's
just not
weird.
like your right ear? Is that?
Oh, you want to say hi, Linda? Here, say it right in here. Say, hi, Linda.
Hello.
Oh, hold on, it fell out. I just realized. Here. All right. You say, hi, Linda.
Hi, Andrew. Hi.
You say, hi.
How did you sleep, Andrew? Did you sleep well?
Did she know you were sleeping?
Hold on, let me try this. Hey, baby. How'd you sleep? Oh, I bet you slept so well. Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
think.
how wonderful.
Oh, sorry. Here, what I want to show
No,
is.
he's like, get this out of my ear.
Well, this is what he's doing. Oh, of course, now he's fiddling with his little thingy. So I've got the keyboard turned off. And so he's just sitting there.
There
So
you are.
as you're doing it, he's just like, as you're talking to him, just working away. Here, may I?
I wonder what he's thinking. Do you ever just like wonder,
Yeah, in your earbud.
what are they thinking?
Yeah,
I think
constantly.
that look on his face is disgust right now. It's like, ugh.
No, the airline earbuds, the first earbud he ever came in contact was when we were on the airlines. Hey, I'm gonna put this up.
Oh, the
And
airlines are
he,
so. I had
he,
Gabriel when we flew, and he cried the entire
oh,
flight.
it's
And
so
as it's
hard.
landing, he fell asleep, and I was like, "Nope, wake your ass up. You're not going to sleep." But people obviously hated it, and I was like, "Me too,
Yep.
person. I hate it too. I'm trying
We
to
all
stop
hate
it."
this. I don't know how. Yeah. It's the pressure
They were just like,
changes.
ugh, ugh. And I'm like, that's helping. Thank
Hey,
you, sir.
gentle. This is our microphone. You say hello. Say hello, microphone.
So you were talking about peer
Okay, yeah, peer mediation,
peer
and then
mediation. Yeah.
the sensory feedbacks. No, thank you. If you're not gonna listen and respect my words, I'm gonna have to
Please,
walk
I
away.
remember doing I remember the word. I just don't remember peer mediation. Is that more of a communication
Yeah,
thing?
kind of. So
Yeah.
like what I remember the most, and I still use this, is it's like, hold on. They're I feel statements. I feel when this, not when you got to keep all
Yeah.
the yous
Okay.
out, but it's like I feel sad when my cat gets thrown or when my cat gets taken. And then
Right. Yeah, I forgot about
usually it's,
that.
yeah, and then usually you go
Yeah.
back to the next word. I feel stronger than you when I take your cat. And then I don't remember what the next step is because usually by that time, if I just start with saying like I feel blah blah blah, then the other person's like, oh my bad, I'm sorry, and
Oh,
it
I
resolves
remember
itself.
just
That's
being
not.
like, "Why do you feel that way?" I
Why is a
do.
stupid feeling?
That's a stupid feeling. Yeah,
Stop.
that's not why I did it. I'm just trying to
Stop your
play with you.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood other people's feelings until relatively recently.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
cared to. Well, I mean,
That's
I did. I did. I cared
right.
about, I did, but I mean, my
Not to the
relationship with
extent
my
of.
husband got so much better when I started to really think about how he must be
Look at your
feeling.
hair. Look at your hair. I put my hair on your head. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. It's something that I feel like
He's like, no, no, don't do that.
it's
He
something
really,
that here, how's it look?
oh man.
Yeah, like my sister, this it's something that I don't quite understand because I feel like I've always been really in touch with my feelings.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of an emotional person. But I've also tried to be like hyper aware of what my emotions are because it's so overwhelming and overstimulating for me. Some people say that I'm an empath when people are having
Yeah.
intense feelings. And
So
so,
you feel what other people feel? Like,
like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so much because I've already got my own, and then I've got to like filter what's mine, what's yours, and it's like it
Hmm.
geeks up my
That
brain. And
sounds like
so
it sucks.
I mean, it's not,
I do feel for other people. I
right.
do. I mean, most people do. That's why they put those ridiculous commercials on.
Yeah,
In
right.
the arms of the angel. I'm like, oh,
Right,
come
right.
on. And then they're showing some sick kid. Yeah, that makes me feel a certain way.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like seeing that.
yeah.
But then I'm like, you give less than a penny per dollar to these people? Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't feel bad anymore because
No.
you guys suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like it's a you problem, not a me
Yeah.
problem.
It's like, ugh, ugh. Yeah. But yeah,
Anyway, so the feeling statements are something that I try to work on. And in fact, like my sister and I, like not to bring my own stuff in, but it might be kind of like relatable. Well, I don't know.
bring
Her
your
and
own
I,
stuff in. This is how we work it out. This is how
right,
we
right.
figure it out.
Well,
Do
like her
it.
and I, we just had I have to pray currently. I'm currently actively, anytime I have the feelings creep up inside my brain and in my heart, I'm currently praying that the Lord takes this bitterness out of my heart because I'm really upset with my sister. I've
Yeah.
opened up my home to her. We don't pay her rent. She's not required to do anything monetarily. She's had her own job and her own thing, and that's been fine. But recently, she got fired a little bit because she's got a shitty attitude, and a little bit because the employers, I think, are kind of expecting more out of her than needed. Here, look.
So she does the bare minimum to get by.
Well, kind of. So, like
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, essentially, like she was. Oh, are you all done? Okay, we can just put this up here. Do you want to go and watch a car movie with brother? You want to go sit down on the couch with brother and watch a movie?
Oh, are you letting him watch a movie?
He's watching Cars.
What a special treat.
It is a special treat.
It is a special treat. That's how it should be. TV should be a treat. I
Yeah,
say
it is.
that, but I watch, you know what? I don't watch TV that much. I really don't.
I don't.
But,
I don't. Hold on a second. Let me get this.
but those things should be a treat. So
Yeah. I do try to keep screen time, and yes, one moment,
we
please,
definitely
Andrew.
do too.
I do try to keep it to a minimum, but there's like, sorry, I am going to use my TV as a babysitter so that I can sit down and do this.
I'm
Otherwise,
not
it's just
judging.
insane.
I do it too. I'm like, but it's so nice. Most of the time,
Right.
when we do watch something, we watch something once a month. My kids don't
Yeah.
ever really watch TV. They would rather play
Play their
video
games.
games.
Right.
But we'll sit down like once a month and maybe, you know, eat pizza in front of the
Yeah.
TV, and that's like a super treat. But Silas cannot sit still. And well,
Oh,
Silas
yeah.
can sit still, but he does not want to watch anything.
Yeah,
That's too
yeah.
long of a movie. So if it was just like a 30-minute show, like let's watch Futurama together. Let me watch it first to make sure you can watch
This
it.
is yeah. Oh man, I made that mistake. I was like, yeah. Then I can't remember which episode it was. I was like, oh nope. Oh, I think it might have been one of the new season after it
The
came
newer
out.
ones,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the ones I was like, maybe. Usually I'm okay with Futurama, like
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm not gonna let my kids, like my little ones, watch Rick and Morty. Like
Oh no,
I will
no.
watch that with them, when they're older,
Yeah,
because I love Rick and Morty. But
yeah. Is it still on?
I think I think
They just take like indeterminate amount of times between seasons, right?
yeah, like you
Okay.
don't even know. I do think it is. They hired a new guy. I think the main guy got like Me Too'd
Oh
out.
no.
Yeah.
Gay.
And
That's so
I think,
stupid.
please, anybody that's watching, I don't know. I think this might be misinformation. I don't know. I heard, sorry, that it wasn't, like it was proven that
He's
it
not,
wasn't,
but he's
yeah,
still.
but they still fired him.
Yeah,
So
that's so
if that's the
stupid.
case, that sucks. But he was also in
Hey, yeah,
another one
thank you.
called Solar Opposites,
Okay.
and they completely changed the voice of the character. And I'm like, don't like this anymore. Won't watch it. And
Interesting.
then I was just like, I got stuck. Like they made it into some British accent. Like he ended up like falling and
Now he has that weird.
yeah, it was like they made it like something silly. Like he fell on the voice rayinator thing, and
Oh,
it was something
funny.
silly like that. But
Interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but yeah, I was like, that's not a cartoon I can watch with my children until they're 30.
No, no, not with your children. No, no, no. Yeah.
Here,
What were
how
we?
about I'll give you this one.
What are
Um,
you? What are you with your sister?
oh yeah, okay, so
What's going? What are you feel like? So you haven't asked for any money or anything for rent,
yeah, so okay, so
right?
I've and I don't care, and that
You
is
don't care. You do it
I
because that's what
I
you're
love
supposed to
her. I
do.
love her, and a small part of me, I do feel a little like a small part of me is like responsible for where she is, and that's something that I need to work through because I know for a fact it's not. But when
Mm,
our mom passed, our dad is a decent human being, and I'm super excited that he's finally found happiness. But he stopped being a father to either of us long ago. So he's a guy
okay.
that we're related to, and I love to spend time with when I have the opportunity, but I don't go out of my way to push a relationship, especially one that's like a father-daughter. And I think Stephanie's like a little bit upset that hers is that I don't know. Anyways, so a lot of this is like, I don't expect anything from my sister monetarily, but I do expect a small amount of gratitude for the ability to pick her life up and figure her shit out and move forward.
Mm.
And for the last nearly year and a half, she got here in November of 2023,
Mm-hmm.
for the last, before Thanksgiving, so early November 23. For the last like year and a half, she's just been coasting by. And so, I mean, we've gotten many opportunities to talk and like get to know each other a little more, which I'm grateful for. And in doing so, we have found that there are things that like her and I are very effective communicators. We can talk and speak really well with each other. But all of a sudden, understanding is broken. And we have been discussing this and trying to work through
You're
and
not
forward.
effective communicators.
Right, we're no longer effectively
Yeah.
communicating
Okay.
with each other. And so there's a disconnect. And so that bothers me.
Mm.
And as I'm working on communicating with my two sons, because as you very well know, even though they came out of the same space, every single child is so completely different.
Yeah.
And what works for one doesn't always work for the other. And so as I'm learning that with my boys, I'm also learning like, oh, maybe I could try different techniques with my sister to effectively communicate. And
Nice.
so
Yeah.
as things come up, I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I got to pause right there, because the thing that I've noticed, and I have to speak strictly on my thing real quick. The patterns that I have noticed is that when there's something that triggers me, Stephanie's been triggered for 5+ minutes. And she's in such an emotional, that fight or flight response, up in your brain. She's in such a spot up in her brain that she no longer is able to effectively communicate what the problem is, how it came about, any of those details. So as we stumble through so that I can process her feelings as well as my feelings, I then have to, okay, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? I don't understand, which makes her super mad, because then I'm like, I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she
She's
usually,
not doing that. She's not awake enough to process
oh no, 100%. She
anything.
did.
So that's hard.
Yeah,
That's
it's
hard
super
because you're
hard.
trying to, it's only
Do
you
both.
you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out where she's at, and she's not trying to figure out where you're at.
No, not at all. And
Because
like,
she's in the state where she's upset already,
right.
and why should I have to figure out, because she already pissed me off, she's already upset, and then after that they really
Yeah.
don't hear what you have to
No,
say.
not at all. But then
Yeah.
they hear little clips and phrases that only
Yeah.
triggers them more. And so like
Yeah.
I'll say like, I don't understand. Like, why don't you blah blah blah? And she's like, oh, you're saying I'm stupid. And so then it just like devolves into this thing, and where I'm like, Stephanie, and like I have to I slowly get quieter and quieter. And I'm like, I'm not going to take a screaming match. I can't do this. It's exhausting. The louder she gets, the louder I want to get. That's we grew up in a very loud household. You're a loud person too. And then my boys, all of a sudden, because like, we're in the car, we're in the house, my boys are everywhere with me. So they're always present. They're 90% of the time present when her and I are having these arguments over whatever diddly squat stuff it is. Anyways, so then their volume goes up, because there's just, like you feed off of it. It's so, and her, like she boils white hot. So anyways, there's her scale of anger is, I'm upset. I don't know why. You're making it worse. I don't want to do this anymore. And she shuts down. That is the very cool end of her scale once she's triggered. The white hot, terrible rage monster end is she says terrible, terrible, mean, hurtful things. Generally, I can remove myself from that. Yesterday, she said, after one of the dumbest disagreements, and I'll go into the full argument yesterday, but yesterday she said something to the effect of, clearly I'm not wanted here or loved here. I hate it here anyways. I might as well just go. And she has also had, she's attempted suicide 3 times. So that the first thing that she said to me, basically, because it was like essentially that, not exactly verbatim, but it was like the first thing was, are you going to leave and go kill yourself? Because fuck you. Like, that's rude to even make me, like, that is, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing if you're so rude and selfish that you're going to take your own life knowing that the rest of my life, that's going to be on my shoulders. Fuck you. I was so mad and so hurt instantly at that implication. The second one is, again, I've opened my house up to her. What do you mean? You're telling me the last year and a half that you've been living here scot-free, enjoying my children and my family and all of this? I know it's hard. There's not easy. I get that. But you're telling me you're so miserable that you'd rather just go live under a bridge than comfortably in a warm house full of people who love you, for people who feed you constantly, and then threaten suicide? Get out, woman. Anyway, so the argument that
What
her
did
and
she
I,
reply when you said those things?
I don't say those. I can't say those things
you
to her.
didn't say
I
that.
cannot. I cannot. She is such an emotionally fragile human being currently. I
Maybe
almost
she
want to say,
is emotionally and fragile because you're holding back from what you should
oh
say to her
no,
because
oh
she
no.
needs to hear these
Can't,
things.
I've tried. I've tried that. I've tried the blunt, kind, but blunt, like, this is why, and it devolves so much. And I've even tried, like, again, I thank God for all the parenting books that I'm currently reading, because then I go through and try the
Try
same
different
thing, like,
things.
okay, let's wait till you're calmed down and you're ready to hear this. And so, I'll come back a day later, I'll be like, hey, what was that all about? And instantly she is off the rails again. She's just,
0 to 100.
yeah, it like
Yeah.
it's like whoa. And if I'm lucky, I can get her to shut down enough. But most of the time, she just it's she holds me hostage as well, because then she doesn't possess the ability to hold herself responsible for
Yeah.
her life is essentially what it is. She is where she is because of
Everybody else's
herself.
fault.
And then she gets mad. Yeah, she gets mad. She's like, well, my ex-husband used to do this and everybody wants me to change everything about who I am. It's like, no, we don't. But you do need to change. You do need to change. If you want to be around people and you keep getting the same feedback from people, listen to it.
You're the common denominator.
Yes, yes.
I'm just
I've,
saying, is everybody lying?
I
That's
flat out told
really,
her that.
yeah. Like people
And
would
it's
be like, you're angry. And I'll be like, yeah, I know I have an anger problem. I don't know how to deal with it right now, but I know I have it.
yeah, yeah. I am aware. I am
So
aware.
yeah, I
Yeah.
am aware.
So
But that's I think she just needs to have that spark, that awareness.
well, so that's she did
It's my fault.
recently, within the last weekend, she did say that she wants to try doing mushrooms. And so I've got to figure out
Oh,
how to, my goal is to figure out how to facilitate that. The downside, though, is that I genuinely don't think that she's ready for it. I genuinely don't think. I think she's going to have a terrible time, because the first thing that I think you have to do is, and maybe her just saying that she wants to try it might be just enough, but I don't know. Like, I've got to figure out how to acquire so that I can Sherpa her through something or something like that, because
yeah.
but she has to
Oh,
be
yeah.
completely ready, because otherwise I
You
don't think it's going
do.
to be helpful.
It's not going to be helpful, and it really is just
Like,
going to be scary.
right? Yeah, yeah, terrifying. Yeah, you're going to have to face demons that you have been holding on to for your whole entire life.
Things I didn't even know I had problems with it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's the most freeing thing anybody will ever do. But I don't think that you can
I
go
hear a train too. Go
and
look out the window.
face those demons and I wouldn't say face those demons, but release the
Yeah, well
demons,
done, well
I
done.
guess, until you understand why you're doing it. And sometimes mushrooms just don't do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just shows you how, but you have to figure out, like, what my experience was. I was in that problem, in that situation. And so for example,
Yeah,
my
hold on.
dad got really sick when I was younger.
Hold on just a second. I have to go open the curtains so my boys can see the train go by our house. Otherwise, we're gonna
Oh
have
yeah, yeah,
problems.
definitely.
Just a
Go do it. Go
second.
do it.
Okay, let's get the curtains open. I heard them. Sorry about that.
No,
The
don't be
train going by
sorry.
our
I
house
want to miss the
is
train.
it's insane. He will wake up. So I'm so glad he's already awake because I would have been like, I gotta go right this second. The second I thought I heard it. Anyways, the train goes by. He will be dead asleep. And there's the brick factory. The entrance into the brick factory is maybe a quarter of a mile up the road from our street, and the train has to blow its whistle once it's crossing. And so and then I'll hear it. I will usually hear it if he's asleep at the first street, which is where it's currently at. So we've got a few minutes before it comes by. And I have been outside chopping wood, like outside my fence area and everything, heard the train, ran inside, stripped layers down, ran upstairs, and then I have to wait crouched by his bed to get to the brick factory so that when he wakes up, I can show him the train and then he goes right back to sleep. And I'm not even joking. It's fun in the summertime. Like we watch and we'll walk up the street and we'll say hi. And the conductors are always like, they wave at us. It's fun. It probably goes
Yeah.
by like, 3 times a week or something like that. But it's something that is such a part of Andrew's life that I'm worried that he's going to be one of those train spotting weirdos.
Oh, boys usually like they're. You know what? I
Yeah,
think.
boys usually do. Ben likes it too, but not like
Yeah.
Andrew. Not like Andrew. Um, oh, I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on.
I can. I
That's
can.
it.
I
That's at
hear
the
it.
brick factory. It's not even at our street yet.
You're like
Go say
the
hi.
train runs directly through the center of my house. That's why I drive so cheap.
There's
Uh,
one house between us and the train tracks. The house
there's
that I want
what?
you in. I said there's one house. Hold on. Get, get. You okay? All right, here it comes. It's at the brick factory. That dang Porter. Sorry. Porter, the dogs all get excited too. And so Porter, we call him a raper. I think in a past life, I know for
No,
real.
no.
If past lives are for real, I think that in a past life, this might have been somebody who was like a rapist, but then repented of their
No.
sins and they were reincarnated as my dumb dog, because he's just too stupid to handle himself. Now it's next door. I'll just wait. One
Well,
more.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he was too stupid to handle himself as a human, and so he was reincarnated as a dog. And so we call it raping because it doesn't matter how many times you tell him to stop. He just puts his tongue on you. It's so violating. It's
That's what I'm
terrible.
afraid is going to happen with Silas if he just doesn't. Stop drinking this teddy bear. No, I'm not afraid of that. I don't
No,
think
I
my
know, I
boys would
know.
ever do something horrible like that.
I don't think so
But yeah,
either. Okay, 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 okay.
I think about your sister, I
Yeah.
think we just need to
Hi,
brainstorm different
Drake.
ways to speak to her.
Yeah, I mean,
If
and
she's not
well,
hearing your frequency,
no, not
if
at all,
she's
not
on
at
her
all.
own frequency and she's not willing to change it at all, she's not willing to tune it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Is like she
Yeah,
has her own. She refuses to turn it, regardless of how much static and feedback she gets from everything else.
right.
Everything else has to change. It's not her fault. So the argument her and I that started this spat that we currently are, that I am praying for. I feel bitter, and I don't. I think bitterness is the root cause of cancer, and I'm not even joking, because it is a
No,
cancer. It
I
takes
get
over
it.
your whole.
It's terrible.
And anyway, so we're driving to the store, and oh gosh, Ben said something, and then so Ben's the oldest, Andrew is my second, I'm the oldest, Stephanie is the second. And so Ben says something, and Auntie Stephanie, we call her Auntie. Stephanie like fires back with something to the effect of, well, I never got to have new clothes when I was a kid, and that's why I have so many clothes now. And I was like, instantly, I've been working on figuring out where our disconnects are diligently so that I can understand better ways to communicate with her. And so it finally dawned on me that one of the disconnects that we have is that she I do my best when I am speaking, especially with somebody that I don't communicate well with, that I'm speaking as precisely as possible. So I try to use the most precise language as possible that's available to me. I'm not a freaking word genius. I don't know a whole bunch of stuff. I'm stupid, okay? But I am aware that words need to be used properly to be understood properly. So when she was saying, I never got new clothes, and that's why I have a whole bunch of clothes now, because now I can buy whatever clothes that I want because they're not hand-me-downs. I was like, what? And so the first thing, as I was starting to unpack it, because I was like, I've already been triggered. Stephanie was already triggered by whatever Ben said about, I don't know, clothing, it seemed. So I was like, I don't, that doesn't really make sense. I was like, you don't always get hand-me-downs. I mean, like, everybody gets hand-me-downs. Like, I got hand-me-downs and I'm the oldest. Like, we all get hand-me-downs. I don't understand. Well, I never got to get new clothes. I was like, Stephanie, I was like, I don't think that's true at all. I was like, I remember we used to go shopping all the time and you would get new clothes. No, I was told I couldn't get them because I already had that at home. And I was like, I don't remember this at all. I was like, forgive me. I was like, but, when we'd go shopping with grandma and grandpa, you would get new clothes, I would get new clothes. When we would do this, we would both get we would individually get our new things. It's also, as you have children, probably you're also aware that there's a good chunk of time you can't pass down clothes because one of those kids wears through those clothes.
Grayson.
Yeah. And so like
Hands
there's
down,
just
Grayson.
And so like I was like, Stephanie, I was like, it just doesn't, I was like, can you please be a little bit more precise in your words? I was like, saying these always and never statements are really difficult for me to understand because frankly, that's just not true. I was like, and I'm trying to help relay the importance of speech and words to my boys because Ben has started saying always and never. I always do this. I never do that. He obviously doesn't know how to use them. I'm not as hard on him as I am my sister who does know how to use them. Anyways, just pointing out that she's using these, whatever they are, statements, she's like, it's a turn of phrase. And I'm like, I get that it's a turn of phrase, but I'm not understanding what you're saying the right way because you keep using these absolute statements. I was like, and it bothers me or it makes me, what did I say? It makes me feel like you don't know what the truth is or even what direction it's in to converse, maybe I said adequately, to converse properly with me. Oh, I'm just an idiot. Fine, I'll never say anything ever again. Then she didn't talk to me for 6 hours.
So from being an outsider, just listening,
Yeah.
she believes something and her truth is her truth. So try to meet her, even if you don't think, like, just stop saying you're right. Pretend you're not. Meet her at her level and say, oh, I'm sorry you feel like that. Is there any times you got something new? Oh, hey, what do you mean? Can you explain that to me more?
I can't do that one.
Let me understand.
Right. I can't do, so that first one that you did, that was probably, I think I have to have it a little bit more pointed because when I say, can you help me understand more? She starts telling me that I'm calling her stupid because she's too stupid to use words for me. Then that's why I don't understand. Like I can't tell her that I don't understand. I can't share that I'm not understanding.
I wonder if you say something like,
but I like taking you, I think I'm actually going to write that down. So like you said, hold on,
like,
sorry, I've got to figure out how to write that.
You believe you're right, she believes she's right.
Right. Obviously it's somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, right? Because you didn't live her life. So you don't know what she perceived, because people will only remember certain things. Right. So they won't see the other part.
Yeah. Maybe like once that she maybe she wanted like a really nice, pretty dress and she was told that she couldn't because we already had a dress or like there was a hand-me-down dress or something like that.
Right. And then that triggered her to basically only see all the hand-me-downs and just forget about all the other stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to remember that everybody has a skewed
Right, right.
perception of what
Even
actually happened.
right. Yeah, I was gonna
So
say our brains
yeah.
are only picking up like a small percentage, and then we kind of use
So
our
she thinks you think she's, if you try,
yeah.
okay, so I know I get it. She's very
Yeah, it's
she's lost. She
super,
really is,
super.
and she's very stubborn, and she's gonna be in her own thing. So really, the only way is to really understand where she's coming from in order to pull her out of there.
I
Because
mean,
she's stuck. She's stuck in that frequency. She's stuck in whatever she's in. And really, what I say to people is, go be. You have to. You can't expect somebody that's on like a 95.2 frequency and like down here, and then you're up here on 102.3. There's all those frequencies in between,
yeah,
and it's easier for somebody that's higher to come down a
down.
little bit lower
Yeah.
and help and try to bring them up a little bit. So I think maybe you're just going to have to talk to her in a way that she understands,
I,
like
I
maybe
think
bring yourself down a little bit to bring her up. And I know you shouldn't do that. I don't, that's
no,
a
no, no.
suggestion, but
I think I
just be
see what
like,
you're saying.
I I've had two kids, and when you have kids, you kind of just you kind of forget things. So can you help remind me? Like I maybe I'm or just yeah. I think the best thing would probably be like, oh man, I didn't know that you saw your childhood that way.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
and
Yeah, like what can I help? Like, is there anything like I can do? Like
wow,
Like
neat.
even if you've seen her getting new clothes or something, she didn't see it.
Right, right.
So yeah.
No, and that's, I mean, like, so today I couldn't, I mean, again, like the things that she said to me last night, it really, I still feel, I genuinely feel heartache. Like
Yeah.
and I told her like this morning I had to say probably 100 times before I could even say good morning to her. Oh, hand. Oh, you want up? One moment here. Let me help. Um,
I always
I
hate
just
those
want
like after a fight and then I have
hold
to
on.
say good morning to my husband. Oh. Oh, you can still hear me? Oh no, you can't. There's a crying baby. What happened? Oh.
Okay, did I mute myself at least? Okay, can I help you up into Papa's chair?
Did he get hurt?
Yeah, I was trying to get him up into Ty's chair, but um, I had to move it because it's a little wheelie chair, and I accidentally ran his little toe over.
Oh God, that's the worst.
Right? I know, I know. I feel terrible.
Imagine the
Oh,
trauma you just caused on him. The
oh yeah,
person I love the most crushed my
he
toe.
he always gets his toe ran over. He's probably never gonna forgive me. I'm just messing.
He
I'm
carries
trying
it
to keep it
on.
from yeah
He's having an
forever.
argument with Ben like 30 years down the road.
Mom just beat me up all the
Mom,
time.
was abusive all the time. I'm surprised I even have toes.
Yeah, so I mean,
Like,
like, I resonate. I resonate what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out how to articulate myself. Maybe you can help me with a word. I need to work on moving towards understanding her, but without saying understanding. I need to. I don't want to commiserate with her. What's the word that I can use? Like, what's a positive word for commiserate? I gotta move in front of my camera because it's trying to focus on behind me. There we go. Not in front of me.
oh,
That's Brothers
let's look
Cross.
it
You want to go
up.
give it to him? Kiss. Wanna go pass that to brother?
Okay.
Yep, I got it.
One of the things it says empathize is a positive alternative to
Empathize.
commiserate.
Maybe empathize. I feel like there's a different word. I'll leave it with that because I'm
But
just making a note for myself.
um, I know it sounds bad, but it's really like lowering yourself
I mean, like,
down.
I don't
It
mind.
really is.
Right. I mean, like, but I have the tools to get myself back up, even if I have to. I don't
Also,
mind condescending to that,
I
and I don't mean
want
condescending as in like a
right.
negative, but
I want to remind you that nobody has the power to make you feel any way unless you allow them to.
right, right. Well, I totally allowed Stephanie to make me feel like shit. And I'm working on that, which is again, like why, I mean, like I don't want to be bitter, but I mean, like words still hurt. And like I have to figure, like why does her lack of gratitude affect me so much? And well, I know the answer. It's because I work diligently at trying to make sure that she is comfortable and happy and pleased. Like I really genuinely don't expect anything of her. I want to be a
But you do expect something of her.
well,
You expect gratitude, you expect her to understand your feelings. You're expecting her to do something she doesn't know how to do right now in this moment. But have you
yeah, you did hear
tried?
Papa text.
Have you tried? And this is going to be a
That's
good
Papa's
one.
work.
They say this with kids, or they say it whenever. When they say something that really doesn't serve a purpose, they're just saying it to get a reaction, ignore it.
Yeah,
Just do that. And then
there's just no feedback anymore.
eventually they'll be like, I'm not going to get anything from that. I'm going to stop doing that crap.
That's, I think, and
That's the idea of it.
that
That could
is
work.
right. And I think that I think that's been my tactic for a long time.
So you need to work on yourself and stop getting
Yeah,
offended and
yeah.
then snapping out. Yeah.
Well, right.
Maybe that's a you issue and not a her
It's
issue. It all
totally,
comes back to self.
yeah, it
That's
totally is. It
really,
totally
it all
is.
comes back to self. So what can you do in that moment to stop it? Well, you can just not be offended.
Yeah,
No matter
I
what she
could.
says,
Yeah,
you
I
can
could just not
say,
be offended.
she doesn't understand where I am, and then let her have the last word.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I
Like, just be the bigger person.
that is something that I do need to work on. I don't know, maybe
I
one
think
of
we
my
all need to
personal,
work on it too. I'm
yeah.
not sitting here saying I know how to do that exactly. I'm just saying I've been working on it.
Yeah, I do need to work on it harder. And some people, I don't know, some people wound easier than others. Like I feel like some of the things, well, I don't think Ty would ever, like, my 3-year-old when he says something to me, I love that. You want to build me something?
My kids trigger me the most. What do you? Well, like I
Oh,
said, well,
I'm not
same
there
with both.
yet.
They've been
Yeah.
doing this for a while. They've been fighting, and I have tried to ignore it because I'm like, let them solve their own
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
It's obviously not getting solved. Like, how
Right.
long do I have to ignore this?
Right.
Like, I'm a parent. Like, that's the hardest thing as a parent. Okay, you're going to ignore this behavior because it's not good behavior. But at what point are you like, all right, I need to intervene? Like,
Right.
that's hard for me to know when I should. And I
No,
know,
totally.
I know that sounds insane, but I'm like, when should I show up
Yeah.
and be a
Oh, thank you.
presence? Because it's like how long? Because I'm like, eventually I would hope they would solve their own problems, but it's the same damn thing, Adrian. It's the same thing every day for months now. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
and I'll go in and I'll be like, hey, try a different tactic. Try
Try
something
something
else.
else.
Get,
Yeah.
get your message across.
Right.
I should say communicate differently. Okay, about October. No, it was in early October. Well, no, mid-October because we went to base and we went to some Halloween thing. So it was around Halloween time, but well before. Grayson and Silas had a fight. I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, I have an idea. You guys sit on that couch. We were on base in one of their base houses that they rented out. I said, you guys sit on that couch and don't get up till you figure it out.
Nice.
Hours, Adrian. It was like 2 hours to the point where I just had my phone up over there because I was like, I'm going out. I'm going to go out and I'm going to go for a walk. We're going to go to the park. And I put the phone there and I was like, we're watching you. You know?
Yeah.
And like, that was when they start, but then their problem solving was terrible.
I
It
mean,
was just like, let's just say we're sorry, or like it was just like not even talking about it. It's just like, let's say we're sorry so mom will be happy. I was like, it's not about me being happy. I was like,
you
you
guys
guys
gotta
haven't
figure this
solved
out.
the problem.
Yeah.
That's not solving the problem. But I guess he's like, well, yeah, we're fine now. I was like, all right, you know what? You're right. You're right. Get up.
Right.
and solve the problem. So I can't, I was like, that
No,
was one,
right,
yeah, I can't
right,
tell them how to do it either, but they
right,
did. They
right,
solved it. They got over it.
right. Have you seen that it's always I see it periodically on Facebook and Instagram reels when it's like two boys that are like squabbling, and so the mom sticks them both in like an extra large shirt, and they just
Yeah,
like
I've
have
seen
to do
that.
things together. Maybe you have to stick Silas and Simon in
Good.
one. Like, here you go.
Yeah. Oh man,
But
now that I'm
yeah, the
thinking
kids.
about it, I'm like, they actually did solve the problem. Just because they didn't solve it the way I wanted to doesn't mean it wasn't
Right.
solved.
Yeah, that's a hard
So
one. That's a hard
that,
one.
I'm glad I talked about that because this whole time I was like, they didn't solve it. Those
They
little
didn't solve it.
bastards got
Yeah.
out of this.
Don't do
No, they
it, Rick.
did.
Do it for yourselves. We
Yeah.
did.
Maybe I should
um,
have, yeah, I just was so tired. I was like 2 hours.
oh, yeah, I can imagine. And like that's the other thing is
Hard.
like you're also being held hostage by this because you're just like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. Um,
Yeah.
no, I'm curious how much overlap is between your youngest two and my sister and I with our issues. Um, and I mean, like it may have it could all in all honesty be a maturity thing between the two.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I'm super curious. I've got a note so that I can follow up with you guys
Really
on this in a
think
couple
it might
days.
be Silas as the issue. And I know everybody is the issue, but Silas is has a hard time understanding emotions. A
Yeah,
very hard time.
Stephanie is really
It's
similar.
hard.
Like and it's not that Stephanie doesn't, I don't know, I don't think it's exactly that Stephanie doesn't understand them, but she says constantly, and this is really what I think it is that she doesn't allow herself to feel things because whatever trauma she has in her younger
Yeah.
childhood, this is the other thing, and I have to use her words because it makes me furious to think about it the other way. But she's like, I was always told to sit down and shut up. Not true. And I was always just told, just to be quiet and not make them, and not get in the way. Not true. And so I
But
don't
it is
know.
to her.
Right, right. And so I
So it
don't,
is to
and that's,
her.
and I
Yeah.
try not to, when like she says those things, I just try to be like, I'm sorry, Stephanie, I had no idea. That's all I can say is
Yeah.
say, I'm sorry, I had no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the
That's
same time, like,
really
it's
all
like,
you can say.
right, I
If
look
she's
at
not
these
going to listen to
things.
anything, but then you can add, if you want to talk about it, I'll be here. And then
Yeah,
just listen. Don't say that didn't happen. Just listen to what she has to say.
yeah.
And I mean, genuinely listen to her and say, oh,
Ooh.
oh man, yeah, just genuinely listen and don't give your opinion, nothing. She just wants to be heard at this point. She just wants to be heard.
Yeah, I think I try to do that, but one moment. I need to make a big asterisk for that one.
I don't believe that people, you know, a lot of people get divorced and it's really just because they don't know how to communicate with
A
each
hundred
other.
percent, 100%.
And that's really it. Like, and that's why I say you have to marry your best friend.
Very nice.
You have to marry your best friend because, and I think men should be better communicators than women.
Yeah.
I really believe they should be, and that's why when people are like, women should rule the world, I was like, no, we should rule like the spiritual side of things. Let men rule the world. I think they're more level-headed. They don't have hormone fluctuation. They don't have periods. They don't make babies, and like, we have so much going on that, in my opinion, I think we would be at wars. I don't
Oh,
think that
constantly,
women
constantly.
should run the
No,
world. I don't
no.
think every woman should not have the opportunity to do those things. Yeah, of course, of course. But in my opinion, I believe men can communicate more effectively.
Yeah.
And I I do, and I believe that if they communicate effectively with the people, then that's what matters.
Yeah.
You know.
It's so funny that you actually just said that because the last night as I was cooling myself down, I took the boys upstairs and we're brushing our teeth and everything. Then I was like, oh, wait a second. I think I should be starting my cycle soon. And this will only be the third period that I've had postpartum. I usually don't have, or not, I guess I can say now usually, but I don't have my period for the first year after I have the boys. Yeah, it's been really cool. But I'm going to be 100 million years old before I go into menopause. I'm going to be having my period until I'm 95.
Man, I had my period before 6 weeks, about 5 weeks.
Oh, I've heard that, and I'm so sorry.
Every
It's been
single
so cool.
child.
It's been
Like
so
right after you've
nice.
done the bleeding of the baby, with I had my first child. This is why women need to talk, okay? I didn't talk about stuff with my mom ever. Ever. We just didn't talk about bodies and whatever. She's like, I wouldn't like if she didn't even come to me, hey, do you have any questions? Never. Never. And I'm not gonna go to her and talk because we just created this environment that it was uncomfortable to talk about
Yeah,
those things.
yeah,
But I go into having this baby, my first baby, and I have them, and then they come in, they're like, how is everything? And I was like, I'm bleeding.
Is this okay?
They were like, okay, let's check it out. And they're like, okay, well, everything looks okay. And I was like, I'm bleeding. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had no freaking idea. And I read other books. I swear to God, no book
them.
ever told me I'm going to bleed after
Yeah.
for freaking 4 to 6 weeks. I was so pissed.
Yeah, yeah.
I was so mad. I was so angry. I was like, I just squeezed out a baby. I'm in pain and I have to bleed now. I was not happy with that. But
Sorry, I hope
yeah,
we're not being
that's
too loud.
something I was like, why? And I know that's a dumb thing because I know maybe most women know that. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I basically got like laughed at in the hospital.
Rude, rude.
Rude, right? And
That's
I was,
super rude.
I'm like, I'm being laughed at. I'm being like, what are you talking? Like, you don't know that? No, I don't know that. But thanks for making me feel like shit.
I love that.
But yeah, no, that was like, and I was like, this is why people don't ask questions.
Yeah, no, for real though. So I had Benji, and it was like one of the most hard. I labored all through the night. So by the time I had
remember.
Ben, by the time I had Ben, I was like up for. I think I was pushing like 30, maybe 40 hours. I was like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was talking, and my midwife, because I had Ben at home, my midwife says, she goes, okay, she's like, this is when I leave you. And if any of the blood clots that you passed are bigger than a fist, then call us. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then, I'm like in my bliss, and then we all fall asleep, and then I wake up a couple hours later, and I'm like bleeding. And my first thought is, oh my God, like I've ruptured something, and I need to go to the emergency room. I don't want to deal with hospitals. I'm having a hard time. And so I call the midwife up, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm still bleeding. And she's like, oh God, okay. She's like, just a moment. She's like, I'm 20 minutes away. I'll be there in just a few minutes. She was like, is it bad? Like, are you passing like huge blood clots? And I was like, no. I was like, but I'm still bleeding a lot. Like, this is like my third pad in like 2 hours. And she goes, oh, okay, that's normal. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean that's normal? She's like, yeah, you've got a wound the size of a dinner plate. She's like, of course you're still bleeding. And I was like, oh. And like, it was fine. But again, like, I wasn't told that until afterwards. And I'm so lucky that I had a wonderful midwife to explain those things. If a doctor would have like told me those things, I would probably, I can't say the words without having us canceled, because it would be viewed as an act of terror. But I would have gone after those doctors and those nursing staffs if I was treated so rudely after birthing a freaking human. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that about my body, because like you, my mom did talk a lot about some of this stuff, but like so many other things, like you just like, as soon as it was explained to me, I just had the placenta was just removed itself from the inside of my uterus. Like, of course, like there's a giant wound.
No, it makes
sense. Like, now that makes sense, but that's not something that
It did not make sense then.
Yeah, books don't tell you that. People don't. I didn't even think about that. It wasn't until like 2-3 weeks later, when I kept getting yelled at by my midwives because I was too active, and so I would open the wound again, that she's like, stop, you're healing a giant wound in your body. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like a third time.
I had an easier time healing with Gabriel was I passed huge clots and like
Oh,
big
interesting.
clots, huge clots, and they were no reason. They were like, nah, it's okay, it's good.
That's terrifying.
Um, and to
Exactly.
the point, I did for about 2 weeks. I was in the hospital for about a week after I had him.
Oh, wow.
But man, I just was, I don't know. They really did make me feel stupid. And then I was like, am I stupid? Like, am I dumb? And then, yeah, I think that I didn't like asking questions that much anyways. Well, it depended on the environment I was in. But, I can't hear you. Okay, yeah, it always depended on the environment I was in and the people I felt comfortable with. If I felt comfortable, I had no issues asking questions.
Yeah, yeah. It's so, I mean, like that's a fun rabbit hole for us to one day go down, is our birthing stories and experiences. I remember when I was pregnant, I was just like picking your brain. I wanted to get as much information in here, like, because I never really cared, let alone wanted to hear about it. Having like birthing
No,
is always
let me
grossed
hear you.
me
I remember I'm pregnant. All right, with
out.
Silas.
I remember this
I
too.
think we had Gabriel and Grayson, and I'm laying on the couch because I'm like, oh my god, I can't. I just felt like I just needed to lay down. I was so tired, and I was like, oh look, he's moving, and I exposed my midriff, and you were like, oh god, like running. It
I
was hilarious.
it's
I
what's
was like, she's crazy.
The first time, I mean, like, okay, I will say, there are women who love being pregnant, like the actual, they love it. And I think that's so wonderful for them. Being pregnant is like one of the most uncomfortable things for me. I could not,
Mm.
the physical feeling of it, I literally just broke out in goosebumps. It still skeeves me out. I'm like, yeah, it's not something I enjoy, especially thinking of. However, that first this is what's happening. That's why I keep muting it too. The first time I felt Ben kick, I almost barfed. I was
You told
so
me. You're like, this is mine.
I
What
was I was like I was like, is this what motion sickness feels like? Knowing full well what motion sickness feels like. I was like icked. And I do like that feeling now. I don't think I crave it and pine for it, but I do sometimes. Like when I if I had a big burrito and then I've got some gas bubbles, sometimes I'm always like, oh, I miss being kicked in the liver. Um, but aside from that, it's still. But anyways, it would be a fun. That would be a fun
Yeah.
conversation topic to cover one day because he likes crashing them down. I
This
know.
typical second born.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabriel would build these beautiful like train sets and build these towers, and Grayson would be like, Grayson, stomp!
Oh yeah. We've had to
Godzilla and kick everything over. Yeah.
call it so, and I don't know if Gabriel was like this, but Ben, he builds these beautiful things, and then he wants to leave it out forever. And I'm like, yes, I would love
Oh,
to, but Babezilla is going to come through. And so now I'm like, how about you build something beautiful, and then when Andrew comes around, he can remodel so that you can then remodel. You can remodel
yeah.
his remodeling. And so that's what we've had to call it because,
You're
yeah,
also
no, Andrew
teaching
is,
him how to fix mistakes.
yeah.
That's my big thing. I really hate. We're going through trying to like remodel this house, but I'm like, what if, what if we don't do it right the first time? And
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
then we'll move
Then we'll
things. And I
fix
was like,
it.
but I don't want to do that. And he's
Oh,
like,
you'd like that,
why
please.
not? And then I think about
Can you say please?
growing up and my mom and my dad, like we went in and we remodeled the house and we're living in it, and my mom's just like, I don't want the kitchen here, I want it over there. And my dad's like, okay, and he just moves the kitchen, like he just does it. like nothing's wrong. And then she's like, yeah, I really don't like it there. I want it back there. And then I want my bedroom downstairs. And he's like, okay. And I'm just like,
Careful.
it was
Yeah,
an
let me lock
adventure. Like
these.
it was never, that was one of the things I liked about my parents is they were never consistently the same. They weren't afraid to kind of jump out on the ledge and do something new. They
Hi.
weren't afraid to move. Well, I don't know if they were afraid, but I assume they were willing to take risks a lot more than a lot of other
Train.
parents.
Yeah.
And I like that because I know this sounds really strange. We moved a lot. We went from Massachusetts to New Hampshire to another place into New Hampshire to Vermont to Oklahoma to Tennessee, and then I went to college and I traveled all around too. And then I just don't like being in one place too long. It's boring to me. And that was one of the things. But I really don't like traveling that much. Right? I travel all over. Pete loves traveling, but I want to go and live somewhere for like 6 months and experience it. Like I want to live in like that area for a while and experience it and then travel to a new one
Yeah.
and experience that for another 6 months or 3 months. But I don't like going someplace for a week.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
A
shit,
week's not
I
enough
hate
time.
flying.
Yeah.
I hate the traveling part. I know I should love the process, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
And I know I should, something I'm working on, but I hate flying so much that once I land, I think about the flight back home.
All done, train. You're
And
right.
then that ruins my entire week because all I'm doing is thinking about packing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh man, I got to leave this out.
Do you
I
want to
got
go
to
get some
pack
more
again.
books?
What if I miss something? And like a week later, like I do that. So that's why I don't really like traveling that much. Do we travel a lot? Yeah. Yeah, we've been all around Europe.
They say that you
Like,
grow more when you're uncomfortable than you do when you're comfortable.
yeah, they
So,
do. Yeah. The vat of water. Like I put myself, I put the year I was like, I'm just gonna be uncomfortable, and I would go jogging in the coldest of weather and do like just head plunges. Just submerge just my head. Oh my God, the headaches. I was just trying to find ways to be uncomfortable. But that's what it is. I've been here
yeah.
for over 6 years, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm too
I was gonna
comfortable.
say
I
this might
need to get
be.
out. I need to be uncomfortable. And
All
that's why I
done,
was like,
train.
6 months is a good thing. You're uncomfortable. And I complain a little, a lot, hopefully a little now that I've grown. But you complain a little bit and you're like, oh man, this sucks. I can't believe I left what I had. I know this next portion of my life, like 2 weeks in, I'm going
I'm
to be like,
so excited.
what was I thinking? I know it. I know. And we're going to do a podcast and I'm going to be like, I am stupid. I just
I
gave up
regret
all
this
of this money to
immediately.
do this stupid shit. Like, what's wrong with me? But then I'm willing to bet 6 months down the road and be like, it's all worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least I
Yeah.
hope. If it's
What's
not, the thing I love about it is if it's not, I can just do something else.
you could try
Like,
again.
that's it. I can
Yep.
just do something else. Like,
Yeah.
it's so easy. I don't have to be scared because everything's going to be okay. And I can always just choose to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as a family, this has been a family thing. We sit down and we have family meetings. We don't do things that ultimately people are like, well, it's the mom and the dad. And I was like, yes, it is. But this is taking my kids out of the most comfortable place they've ever lived, they've ever known, and merging them into a different culture. It's so different from England to Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
Like it's going to be a culture shock for them.
Oh, totes. I mean, like
But
on the bright side.
I don't know. I
I was
don't
gonna
know
say because
they
you guys do go
travel
back and
so
visit.
much.
Exactly, exactly. I don't think it's gonna be a culture shock. I think it's
It's
gonna
not really
be
a culture
yeah, it'll be
blind.
a shock.
It'll be a shock.
It'll be a
Oh, it's
shock
going
for
to be a
sure.
shock when they're like, we have to chop wood. But they teach the kids how to do this in school here.
Oh
So
no.
they teach the kids survival skills outside.
Oh cool.
So it's called forest school. So they teach them how to light a
Oh yeah.
fire and do it, which is great because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So, but it's a family thing. It's going to be great.
I'm so
It's going to be great.
I'm so excited for you guys with that.
And I have this
I have it
feeling,
on
and
my
I don't know why.
calendar. I do.
You do?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
I
can
was
follow up with you.
excited. I was excited for you to. Well, I am excited for you too.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm excited to think that you might come down and see
Dude,
us. So
dude,
I'm excited for that. I don't know
am
why.
the most
I was,
okay. I've already been planning it. I've told Ty. So I have there are four big trips that I want to take in the 6 months, maybe 9 months, but probably 6 months that we're in Boise. And I finally have the ability to do that because I have somebody finally to stay home with my dog. And that's Ty. Sorry, babe. I wish you could come with us, but you got to work. So I'm going to
well,
go
he's not going to be with me for. He's only there for a month,
for
and
the
then
month
he's
and then
going
he's got to
back.
go back
So
to
it's just going
work.
to be me. So no
Yeah, so
husbands.
I am, no husbands.
Womp
I,
womp.
I really want to, I really want to make it up to, I don't know if this is going to work. I have a really good friend from the West Side. She lived like right down the street from me. Her name is Gorby. I think I've talked a little bit about her already. Her birthday's in June, and I want to plan a fun trip for us because we used to before I had kids. The 3 years that we hung out together, we would do something because hers is at the end. Her birthday's the end of June. Mine's at the beginning of July. So there's like 2 weeks in between that we would do something. Like we did. Once we did the Hoh rainforest and all of Highway 101, and we just followed from, I think we started in, oh gosh, I can't remember what beach it is down in Oregon. And then we just followed Highway 101 up the coast until we ran out. But then the remainder of it was closed because this was 2020 because of COVID. And so we couldn't go because there was a couple of tribal the highway ends on tribal land, and the tribe was like, no outsiders are welcome in. And so, anyways, we ended up we did the whole rainforest, and we got in the habit of doing fun things for our birthdays. And so I want to try to do that.
I could just imagine you going there. Well, my friend, as I see it, this is still the U.S. of A.
No way.
Let me through.
I
Let my
think,
people through.
I did say something like super, I think I said something like super, what's the right word? Brash like that, where I was like, "This is America. I can go where the fuck I want." But then
No.
Gorby was like, "But can you?" She's like,
You guys can't. No.
it is private property," and I'm like, "Oh man, you're
Yeah.
right. Private property is
Yeah,
super
you can't.
important."
I was joking. That was a
Yeah,
joke.
it's totally
For
a
anybody
joke.
that didn't get it, that's what we call a joke.
Yeah, if you're offended by that, please forgive us. That was not meant to make offense, just being
Mm.
silly. Um, anyways,
Fuck you. If you take offense, go pound sand in your ass. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. We're just joking. I'm not gonna apologize. I'll explain myself. I'm not gonna apologize. Yeah.
So I want to do a trip with there, and then we have a church camping trip that we like to go to mid-July that I want to do. We always try to go meet up with the first church that Ty and I came into. They celebrate the feast day, which is also the saint that I chose when I was baptized. It's her feast day that we go camping on. So if they're doing that, I want to do that. So that's the second one. The third one is I really want to spend 2 weeks, if I'm able, in Tennessee visiting you. I also have two other people I'd like to see while I'm there. And there's a chance.
Cassie?
No, I don't. I pray wherever she's at in the world, she's doing well.
Okay.
I have not spoken to her since she stole her grandfather's car, drove to Texas, stole a bunch of money from us and our family, and then left.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's good.
I hope
Why
she's
do I
doing well.
think I'm like, I remember
Yeah,
Cassie.
because she's the old she's who I stayed with when I first got kicked
Right.
out of my house,
I
and
just can't believe you
she
got kicked out of your own house. Like,
I still try to I think I need to do my due diligence and figure out like, okay, what was I doing at that point in my life that could be conceived or portrayed as bad behavior. And I will admit, after my junior year started, so no, I started my sophomore year, but it was just the last couple of weeks. I knew you my whole junior year.
Yeah.
At the end of my
I was a
junior year, I
senior
think
in
we
my
never
junior
had,
year.
yeah, I don't think we had many, if any, classes together by the end of my junior year. And by
Yeah.
that time, I had already gotten to a point where I was, wow, excuse me, you have all the boots. What can we do with all those boots? You gonna go put them in the shoe drawer? Thanks. Yeah, do you need, where is he? Just got 7 pairs of rain boots. Every rain boot we own.
I think he's trying to tell you, so it's like a
Boots.
dog bringing a ball.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
think
want to go out in the rain, Mom, please.
we do have like 4 or 5 inches of snow outside, and I got to go outside and clear our walks, but that doesn't need to happen right now. Anyways, so I think like by the time that had happened, like I'd already been being told for however long I'd been living there that I'm terrible. She made bad choices as a teenager. Her daughters made bad choices as teenagers. She was expecting me to do the exact same thing, and in her expectations, I was like, fine, I'm gonna do bad things too. And so by like the end of my junior year, I was probably attending like maybe 2 out of 7 classes. I hated school. I hated
What did you
school.
do?
I fucked off. We would go to the rock quarry and go swimming. I would go to friends' house. We'd play video game. I would walk around. I would just like we would just I would hang out I would take opposite lunches. I would take a lunch if you and I had, I think I did that a couple times. Like you and I had opposite lunches for a
Yeah,
while.
we had
I would just come and hang out with you. And I was like, I don't want to, I don't want to. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm on a potty break from whatever such and such class. And so I'd like hang out with you for like 10, 15 minutes. And then you'd be like, shouldn't you go back? And I'm like, oh yeah, probably. And so then I'd
What did
just
you
go.
not like about
It's,
school? Like, I loved going into class and learning something new each day, and I loved
I
that.
Part of it, a real genuine part of it is you moving schools enough times. I'm not a classroom learner. I can't sit down and listen, like learn
That's fine.
something.
I understand. Yeah.
And so I think that's like the big part of it. I'm not a sit still, shut
You
up
would be
person.
great on the farm, like
Yeah,
homeschooled on a farm, just
yeah.
learning. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's how I'm hoping to raise my boys. I'm noticing
Yeah.
that Ben is going to be more like Ty, where he can just like read a book and then the information's in his brain and then he can go and carry it out. Whereas with Andrew, I see him a little bit. I see him being more similar to me in that I will be working on something actively and he has to be like right over my shoulder, and so I'll just show him like, oh, I got to take this apart and put it in here, and oh, that didn't work. And so like I have to physically be doing that, but then like as soon as I have a question, I have to have somebody with the answer, an actual human person, so that I can articulate my way through well enough of it. But like English, I hardly attended English classes because
That was
it
my
didn't make
worst subject.
I hated it. It didn't make sense. I
I
didn't
always got
care.
A's, but I hated it. I was like, it's the same thing every
Yeah,
friggin'
yeah.
year.
Read
I
this
hated
book,
it.
regurgitate this book.
Yes,
Read this, and
regurgitated.
and then write this paper in this format, and then write this paper in this different format. Like I don't like why. Like I don't understand. I don't care about it.
Do you
Anyways,
know how many papers I wrote?
many.
Zero in my adult life. Zero. I
Zero,
didn't write any
zero.
papers.
I take no. I
And I
take that
don't
back.
even need to now because I'm like, hey, Chad, I want to say this. And he's like, sure, I'll do it
Thanks.
for you.
I
I don't even need to do any of that. I'm not
yeah.
good. I don't have a large vocabulary.
I work on
That's
it.
why I think it's easy for me to talk to the masses, because I was like, I don't think the masses have a large vocabulary. I think they're pretty much where we are. You know, there's going to be one idiot in the comments. Speak for yourself. The
Okay.
audacity.
Okay.
Fuck off. Yeah, I don't care.
That's
I
me in
do
the
think,
comments.
yeah,
I'm just
the
messing.
majority of people can just, well, I think the majority of people can't communicate effectively,
No, yeah.
first of all. But I think of the people that communicate effectively, they don't use big words. They don't use words that most people don't know.
Yeah, hold on a second. It is the end. Hey, stop chewing on that, please. You can put it on, or you can come put it back on Papa's desk if you're not going to wear it. Second, can you turn the TV off? I will set a 10-minute timer, and then we'll go do something. Yes, Mama? After your credits, you can turn it off. Yes? Okay. He loves watching the end credits when they're like fun and still like doing things.
Oh yeah, those are
So
cool. We
yeah.
like to stay in there and watch those two in the movies or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta hold on, let me set a timer for
Can,
10 minutes.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you, yeah, you were okay. Yeah, finish your story first. So
Oh.
you weren't attending class.
Oh yeah,
So
so
how did that?
I stopped attending classes, and that's
Mhm.
really when I started hanging out with Cassie more and more, because she also, and so like that's how we became friends. I didn't have any classes with her. She was just another
Oh,
person, like a vagrant. And so that's when I started hanging out with all the vagrants. But aside from that, like I still had my entire junior year, I made straight B's. I would show up in classes to do what was expected of me, and then I
yeah.
would check out
I was
or
a straight
leave.
A student. I hardly did anything in Tennessee. It was
Oh,
easy.
yeah, that was the other thing.
I was
Moving
like,
from
I could
Colorado to
got B's and I could
Tennessee.
have screwed off the entire time.
Yeah. And I'm a moron, so you probably could have really screwed off.
You know, people sit here, like I used to be like, I need to get straight A's, I need to get good grades, I need to go to college, I need to conform, I need to like that's been my life. I need to do those things because I don't want to be poor.
Yeah.
Because I grew up poor. I mean, we were poor, 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 and I grew up poor, and I was okay with the situation I was with because I didn't know anything else. But I was like, one thing I was like, I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be poor at all anymore. So that's what
It's
led. And then what am I told? The only way you're not going to be poor is if you go
to university,
to
school.
university.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
It's
did
so
that.
funny. I actually, gosh, I was still living with my mom. We were living in Lakewood, and this was the first half of my sophomore year. I was in school for maybe a month and a half, and my mom's like, we're moving come Christmas. Like, you're not going to keep going to school here. And I was like, what the F? Like, I had a job, I had a boyfriend,
Mm,
whom I was like super head over heels because he was like my first and everything like that.
mm.
Up. Hi, thanks. Are you going to play hockey? Hockey blades go on the floor. No, no blueies. Can you please turn it off? Power button. Good work. Thank you, helper. I've got my timer going. Once it's off, let's put on our snow gear and go outside. Yeah? Okay. My mom told me we was moving, and so it was then I was like, okay, fine. I don't need school. I don't need you. I don't need anything. I have a job. I know how to make money. I don't care if I have to work this job, get a second job, get a third job. I will work my tail off. I'm not moving over there. And so I realized when I was 16 when that happened. I don't have to be smart. I have to be a hard worker. I have to be a hard worker because I'm not ever going to be smart enough. And I don't
I
mean
had
to
to be a
like.
hard worker too. I
Well, yeah,
understood both
yeah,
of them, but
yeah.
I
You
didn't
got
think
both of them. Yeah,
I
your
always
motivation
worked
was
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I also remember you though being like super wicked smart. Like that was like one of the
I
things that I
kind
think I
of
admired the most about you.
forgot the stuff that didn't matter, like if I go back in and I look at I do my chemistry, it will come back to me. But like actively right now, I'm just like, I don't ever use that. Like I need to remember other
Oh, are you
things. Why do I
okay,
need to keep that information?
brother? Are you being too rough?
No.
Do you want to come say hi?
Yeah, can I hear?
Yeah. Sorry, hold on a second. No, he's listening to the microphone. Hold on a second. That's gonna be this one. I'll put this one in. Nope. I'll put this one in. Sorry, I gotta figure out which one fits. Okay. Here, come scoot up. All right. Now say hi.
Hi.
Hey, buddy. Long time no see.
This is my
How
friend
you
Linda.
doing?
You know her.
Good.
Good.
Good? How you sleeping at night? You sleeping good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you getting lots of rest?
Yeah.
Do you know that sleep is really good for you? It makes you happy. It regulates your whole body. Yeah, you getting good sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed
What
you
is
keep.
your favorite thing? What do you like to do?
What do you like
Oh,
to do?
I play with my toys.
There you go. Good
what
job.
is your favorite toy?
my race cars.
Oh, your race
Your
cars?
race cars, those are fun.
Not too close. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do you like? What are we gonna do on Saturday?
Hockey.
Hockey.
Oh, do you like playing hockey or watching hockey? Or both?
I like watching hockey. I like playing hockey too.
I seen that you went ice skating. Was that your first time?
Yeah.
Yeah? You did so good. You're going to be zooming around the ice in no time.
Yeah.
Yeah? You're going to
Gonna-
pick it up really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you play hockey, do you want to be somebody that controls the puck? I don't know the name of them, or a goalie?
I want to be a goalie.
A goalie? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably, I would just
Yeah,
loaf in front of the net.
Because at home, I practice barking goals.
Yep.
Yeah? I think I seen a video like that a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pretty. Hey, who are you putting in the penalty box, Andrew? Do you want to go play hockey
Do
with
you
brother
like
for a few
the
minutes?
train when it goes by?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're super cool.
One day we're
How
gonna
about
hop on it.
airplanes? Do you like airplanes?
Yeah.
My husband, you'll see,
That's not the.
he
speak-
sent me a
that's the
picture today.
microphone.
He's up on an American base, and he sent me a picture because
Hi.
he was driving. Let me find it.
Well, she's gonna show us a picture.
Hold on, I gotta find it. It was before or after his
You need to go
food.
potty. Hop down. Hop down. Oh, it's okay. She's got to find that picture. You go do a potty real quick.
Yeah, I'll go there.
Okay,
No,
really
I
fast.
don't know where the heck it went.
That's okay. He needed to go potty.
I was gonna ask you, what was your sister doing at this time?
She lived
when
with,
you
so
were-
she lived with my mom. So that's the other thing. So when my mom, so she moved us to Delta, I hated it there. And my mom was like, you got to go live with your dad. You're an unruly child. And I was
Oh, so she
100% rebellion.
separated you guys.
And so she split Stephanie and I up, and so then it was my little sister and Christian. And I'm not going to act like my sister and brother didn't have a shitty hard life. Where my mom chose to live was 20 minutes out of the nearest town, and the nearest town sucked. It was tiny. There was very little to do. We were so broke that we couldn't do any extracurricular activities. And my mom made too much money to qualify for aid for any of those things too. And so, they would just like, they had I'm not gonna lie, they had a really tough time of it.
It
But
sounds like me in Virginia Beach
yeah,
when Taylor wanted to go to prom and all this other stuff, and I was like, it was the one time her mom really
Did your
stepped
body get
up,
flush?
and she paid for that ticket, and I don't know how
when
she
I'm
would have got to prom if they didn't. We were so broke.
Yeah.
But also there was another place that like gave out free dresses too, like
Oh,
a
nice.
military thing.
Yeah.
So you just bring you usually donate it back, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's the the idea of it. But it really helped. So it was like those little programs that really helped. Then my husband said he was
She's talking to you now.
driving, and then he stumbled across some F-16s about to take off, so he had to stop and watch them. Let me see.
Oh, look at those nice fighter jets.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Ben-
So every time we go up there, because we don't have a American base down here, so every time we go up there, and he's just, guys, listen. That's the sound of freedom.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Careful. If you pull it too hard, we're not going to be able to hear her anymore. Do you see how I'm
So there was a huge portion of your life and her life
Yeah,
that
well-
you don't really know about. So
Correct. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
like I try to, and anytime that her and I have like disconnect or something like that, and she starts speaking about her childhood, I try to assume that it's that portion of time. However, the things that like she is so like it's just it doesn't add up logically. if she's speaking about always getting hand-me-downs and all of these things, then that's fine, but that would not have been in that portion of her life. Like, yeah, sure, mom probably went to the thrift store to buy something, or if she really wanted a dress or something like that, mom was probably like, we just don't have the money for it. But that didn't line up with what she was saying. And so
No, I get it.
I do my best to.
You know, she feels really bad, and I think she wants you to feel bad with her.
I think that it is it. Yeah, and like
And
I
then she doesn't know how to tell you that she feels bad, and she doesn't know how to climb out of this hole, this bad feeling hole.
Hi, Kay.
stop. He's playing with the microphone.
And she
That's
doesn't
gonna
know how
be
to
really loud
communicate
for
that
Linda.
with you. And she needs somebody, she wants somebody to just feel bad with her.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, okay, so it's so wild that you're saying that because on my the day that Stephanie got married, we're driving home from oh, gentle, blades on the floor, please. What? Okay, if you're all done, you gotta put it down. Do you wanna come sit on my lap too? Gotta put it on the floor. Come around to this side.
This is a long ass 10 minutes.
My alarm just went off. I was just about to say,
Oh, okay.
this way, hey, come around. See, here. And then I will have to get off because, as you can tell, my my attention is being divided.
That's fine.
Hey,
Why don't
we're
we
not
just
missing.
get
End
off
it.
here and finish it? I'm so tired.
Yeah, no, please go
Yeah.
go to bed. All right,
Okay.
let's say night night. You want to blow kisses?
Night.
Night night. Have a
Bye.
good sleep.
Next time, there's a train that goes around here, and they do like murder mystery stuff on it.
fun.
And it's like and then during Christmas time, it's an old timey steam train, and they have Santa Claus that comes on it, and so you can go like meet Santa on this train, and yeah, I had never been on it.
Oh, well,
I don't know.
check it out one of those
Trains,
days.
I have like zero interest in trains.
Uh-oh, there's
Because
my
I'm
timer.
like, the seats seem small. I'm kind of big. I don't know. Will I fit?
You will.
That's my thing because I've been big for so long. I'm like, am I gonna fit? But I'm like, you know what? I'm normal size now. I should
There,
fit.
hop down. Don't put that in your
All
mouth.
right.
Hop down.
Bye, boys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, boys.
You say bye-bye? Bye. Bye, friend.
Bye.
Have a good night.